But football without fans is nothing. It can be the greatest game in the world. If there are no people there to watch it, it becomes nothing.
Johnston. And a goal by Johnston. That makes it 2-1.
We were magnificent. Magnificent.
Larson. Oh, he's in. Henrik Larsson. That is sensational. Nakamura.
The game is over. The Rebels have won.
He's done it! Jarman's put it in, and without a doubt, the European Cup is on its way.
We'll never stop. We'll stop at half time, and we'll stop at the end of the game when we celebrate.
What a night, what a night. For the viewers, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Jungle Drums podcast. It's Thursday, the 24th of February. And we're just after witnessing a bit of a crap display. Tonight I'm joined by Paddy and Dale Boy from the Celtic Supporters Club, Celtic Supporters Podcast. Sorry, man.
Go for it.
I'm going to be shocking as what Celtic were tonight. Dale, how you doing, mate? Thanks for joining us.
Aye, always good to come on for a chat with these guys. Always good.
Aye, well, hopefully, we would have hoped it'd be on better fucking occasions, but it's been a torrid night, man. We've just went out of the Europa Conference exit to Bodo Glimt. Go to admit, at the start of the two-legged affair, I'd never heard of the team, but now I well and truly know who they are. Norwegian champions, and they're champions for a reason. They talk about levels. They were a level above us on paper. We thought they would maybe be a scoosh, but no, they were far better than us. Paddy, I know that you watched the full game. You did a kind of a live commentating thing with McGinty. How about you, mate? Have you had a few?
Mate, I've had more than a few. Thanks. Thanks, fuck. I could have probably have done the first live suicide fucking show of the night. That's maybe not the nicest possible thing to say, but that was fucking terrible a night, man. Like we've done loads of shows this season. You look at the Livingston one was the last time that I was well and truly deflated after a Celtic performance, but the night was we never actually done a post match for the last game because we were working and couldn't make it and whatnot. But the night, Gav, was fucking atrocious, man. Ange and the players should be fucking ashamed of themselves. And I know this is a kind of game tonight where some people are, including myself, are going to say it didn't matter because we won the league and this and that. But still, you can't go and play like that in Europe and embarrass yourself. I'm stunned. Bodo Glimt are famous for the big toothbrushes, but we were fucking toothless tonight. Absolutely toothless. We were like Charlie Adam.
Very good analogy, mate. Very good analogy.
We were like the footballing equivalent of Charlie Adam. We looked as if we'd been fucking kicked in the fucking teeth. Unbelievable. Sorry, on his go. Rant away, boys. Rant away.
Dale, before I hand over to yourself, it's one of the nights where emotions are high and you could take a step back and talk about priorities, but at the same time, pride is pride, and we get turned over by a team because we'd actually done all right in Europe, against Leverkusen. You think about the away performances against Betis, against Leverkusen, against Alkmaar. Well, we get turned over proper home and away to this mob. So where's your head at right now? Are you raging? Are you looking for scapegoats, or are you kind of being pragmatic about it, thinking for the future? Where are you right now, mate?
I'll back up my statement after the first game at Parkhead, and I got a reasonable amount of shit on Twitter about it and said that it was one of the worst results in Celtic's history at Paradise last week. I can understand where people might disagree. That I think before I go into a wee bit more detail, that Bodo Glimt are a very, very good side. I think my overall feeling regarding the two legs and the 5-1 aggregate result is they've not kicked a ball competitively for November. They've been in a hot weather camp in Spain. I think my overall feeling is that the stature of Glasgow Celtic Football Club compared to who we played, and that's not taking away the fact that I think they're a very, very good football side, by the way, and they thoroughly deserved the 5-1 aggregate score, and that fucking really, really pains me to say it, but not more so after the Paradise game, but it could have been 9 or 10 in aggregate. I thought Joe Hart the night had a couple of brilliant saves in the first half. I think we'll go on to kind of individual player performances going on, but massive disappointment over the 2 legs. I'm gutted with the result. I've just turned my telly off because I can't be fucked watching the Rotten Mob, but really disappointed. My biggest disappointment, Gav, is I spoke earlier about the way they played at Parkhead last week, the high press, and Joe Hart trying to pass the balls at left and right in his own box. And we started exactly the same tonight with a team that wasn't probably as strong as last week, which I never understood. But overall disappointment, but credit to Bodo. They thoroughly deserved their win. And first and foremost, before we talk about football, big time, hats off to every single Celtic supporter that travelled over there the night. Fucking top class guys, man. That's proper dyed in the wool Celtic fans. Hats off to you, and enjoy your £12 pints. And I like I do like the Norwegians, but if you see the big strikers more da, give them a wee crack.
See what you said about last week, Dale.
Yes.
When obviously myself and Gav spoke to the boy, what was his name, Gav? Ronnie Johnson or something? I can't remember. What was his name?
Nicholas Johnson.
Nicholas. Sorry.
Oh, right.
Sorry,
I thought
Nicholas
it was,
Johnson, mate.
no,
Sorry.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, no?
No, sorry. I've had a few of the night trips. I'm a bit tongue-tied. I know the boy Johnson spoke really well when he obviously said he gave us the kind of lowdown about the team, said that they were playing a 4-3-3, aggressive in the press, almost like for like with Celtic, and then obviously told us that the team was in a pre-season camp in Malaga. So we're all thinking, there's a good chance that we might catch them off guard. They're a bit rusty, they've not played. But it turns out after the game at Parkhead, obviously they pumped us in our own backyard. But you think about it, right? This team has had weeks to prepare simply for playing against Celtic.
That's a fucking poor excuse for me, man.
No, it's not. It's a positive for them. That's what I'm saying.
I can't get my head around it. Like, my point of view is, and we've heard it before, so we're like more than halfway through our season. We've played a lot of good teams right now, and we've got confidence up. This team, they've no, as Dale said, they've no kicked the ball in anger since November. Now, I know that they've been probably training like fuck. They've had a very, very good pre-season in Spain, and all they've been doing is fitness, working on their shape, their game plan, and they've only had one thing in mind, and that's to conquer Celtic, which they have done. But for all that, fitness is fitness, but match fitness is something entirely different. I can't get my head around how they strolled it. At times they were playing with swagger. They made us look, I'm not going to say boys against men, I wouldn't be that disparaging, but it wasn't far off it at times. They played with swagger. I cannot get my head around this team who have not kicked a ball in anger, how they really pushed us over at home and away. That part was embarrassing.
It's a complete embarrassment. And I'm just going to bounce onto one of the comments for Ben Dover. Ben, mate, I love your comments every single week, right? But don't ever fucking compare us to they cunts, right? Nobody's making excuses, but you can't turn around and say that mob weren't good, right? They, as I said, they've had 3 or 4 weeks to focus solely on Celtic. We've been in a league campaign well, we're trying to go ahead and win this and win that. That was my only thing, was what I said, that they've got the upper hand right away, as they've got one game to play against us, and they've got so many fucking weeks to do it. But still, it doesn't take anything away from the fact that we were embarrassed, completely shite. Andrews handed his arse to him by fucking, what's his name? Kenil Knutson. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. But by the way, they were a very, very good team. Norwegian champions back to back. And I said it to McGinty when we were talking about the match, watching it. They were so confident. Their transitional play was excellent. For defence, turning into midfield, turning into attack. They actually looked like a seasoned European team, and they looked really, really good. And it made us look so poor, because you look at the guys that played tonight. We spoke about it from the start, right? When we started after the Euro campaign, we had the worst bench probably in our history, the weakest bench in our history. Then we've started to bring in quality. We've started to bring in players who have made our squad better, which ultimately made our bench better. But the bench played tonight, and the bench were fucking atrocious. Look at the state of James Forrest.
What I'll say is, and I said it before the game kicked off, and I'll ask you this question, Gav. I thought tonight's game would have went exactly the same as last week's. I thought that before the game even kicked off. I thought we'll have a lot of possession. They'll hit us in the break. And what I said, I done a very, very short space tonight on Twitter. I spoke to maybe 8 or 10 guys, and I was speaking about it. So I said, I think they'll set up the same as last week. Their starting 11 showed that. Celtic put out a team that I thought that there's a chance of possibly extra time or something. But Ange set up exactly the same as he done last week. Again, this is possibly controversial. You know what I've always said, Gav and Paddy, about the plan B stuff. For me, again, Ange has been caught out tactically. I know. And listen, I'm no a fucking get an Ange ball, get him out and all that shit. I can't be bothered with it. And Ange is the man that's going to take us forward. But I just thought tonight, tactically, we went totally wrong again. The first 5 or 6 minutes, and after their first goal, Joe Hart had a bye kick, and Tony Ralston and Liam Scales were on the byline behind the goal looking for a ball. So my question is, why is Giamakis then playing up front? He's got to be a focal point. 1,000,000%. If we're under pressure, hit Giamakis, hit him with the fucking ball, get a knockdown, get your O'Reillys and whoever it is in the middle of the park to then pick up the scraps. I thought the tactics were fucking shocking. Touching on what Paddy says, James Forrest's again been brought in and given another chance. I thought he was absolutely horrendous tonight. And before everybody starts jumping down the throats again, this is an analysis of the game, not as a season, as a fucking whole. That's what we always try to get across, that we're no slaughtering people as the way they've played the last fucking 10 months. We try to have an analysis of what the last 90 minutes were. James Forrest was shocking. I don't know if any of yous would give anybody pass marks tonight, other than Joe Hart. No for me. No for me, man.
I've just seen a comment there. Bend over, mate. We would absolutely love to have somebody else join us, mate. The only thing is, we need to get you to post up an email address, mate, so that we can send you a link. I don't know if you're comfortable doing that, but absolutely, I'd love to have you on, mate. We'd love another voice. So if you're happy doing that, mate, give us put your email address up. I don't need to show it, but post it up, and I'll send you a wee link, pal. All right.
Dale, just to kind of harken back to something that you said earlier on there. After the first leg, when I thought about it, after the 90 minutes, for me, we get beat 3-1. I didn't expect us to go through in Norway. I didn't expect us to win the tie either. In actual fact, we lost the first half of this game. We lost the second half of this game as well. I just came away with a lasting impression from the first leg that levels. They were a better team than us. Logic dictated that we would have been, that they would have been up against it, but they just showed that they had a different level to us. And so I'm not surprised. And by the way, I'm not raging about tonight's result. I'm not raging about it. I know that some people will be. I'm not upset. I'm not raging. I'm disappointed. But what I am worried about is the form that we've got right now. I know that we've been winning in the league, but I think the form is kind of become a wee bit stale at times. And I think we're badly missing Kyogo. And in terms of the plan B, I don't think we have an overall tactical plan B, but the closest thing we have to a plan B is if Kyogo is day, then Giacomakis is B, because those players are totally different from each other. A bull in a china shop, you've got a guy who's got very, very clever movement. So I think that's the kind of plan B, if you will, in terms of personnel, but not in tactics. That's what I would say about that. Can I ask you guys, I've not heard any of Postecoglou's pre-match or post-match interviews, but did he come out and say why he started with, if you want to call it a reserve squad, certainly at the back you've got Scales and Ralston, and you've got Welsh. So automatically there's no Juranovic, there's no Taylor, and there's no Cameron Carter-Vickers. Did he explain why he started off with that team?
I don't think he's explained it, but it's 100% looking towards the Hibs game. And Gav, I 1,000,000% agree with you, mate. My overall riding feeling is disappointment. No, I think last week after the game at Paradise, it was anger and fucking frustration for a lot of the time, and venting a lot of stuff on social media and stuff, and wake up the next day like, fuck, right, okay. But my overall feeling is disappointment as well. I've not seen any Angie stuff myself, mate, but whether or not Angie's coming out and saying he's going to play strongest side to win every competition, 100% he played that team tonight looking at Easter Road on Sunday. I've got absolutely no doubts whether he comes on after the game and disagrees and says otherwise, then that's what a manager has to do. That he's got to come on and say, I played that team to win the game. But that team was played tonight going towards the Hibs game. One question I will ask you is just off the cuff, and again, it's possibly controversial, maybe more so to Paddy, because me and you spoke a wee bit extensively about this when the Japanese players were signed. Maeda was after obviously Kyogo was signed, who was a revelation, and now we know he's got ankles like fucking breadsticks. But other than that, Maeda was always on the tip of every Celtic player's tongue as the player we kind of look to be excited about. And other than his goals and other what he's done, I think his work rate's phenomenal. But I've been more disappointed in Maeda than anybody else. I don't know if Gav, you want to jump in, but I can't say that after a game I've thought, oh my God, what a fucking game Maeda played. I've been quietly disappointed in Maeda's performances, and I genuinely don't know if where he fits in. Is he left wing? Is he right wing? Is he centre forward? I don't really know. Hatati's has been the outstanding player for me, and Maeda have been. I don't know where he fits in. I don't think he's set the heather on fire at all.
I spoke to McGinty about that while we were doing a Twitch thing. So just for anybody that's watching, we're going to start doing a Twitch live commentary thing. So if there's anything that kind of shit, come and give us a watch. But no, I spoke about that during the game, mate, and I said that. I says, hold on, what's this? Right, listen. Hold on. Here's the comments coming in. Right, people jumped the gun already. Let this finish. Scott Howe, I calm down. Maeda is going to settle and stop writing players off.
I've never. Let me answer. I've never once said in the comment I just made that I've wrote Maeda off. All I said was he was the player that most Celtic fans were excited about. I can't remember. I can't remember Maeda having a fantastic game. That's all I'm saying. I'm not writing anybody off. So
Yeah,
the calm down comments are you calm down and listen to the conversation. Don't take snippets out of it. Listen to what we're actually saying, and then we'll have a good conversation about it. That's all.
Right, Dale, the word that you used or the phrase that you used, and I totally agree with it, was quietly disappointed with Maeda. Now, I agree with that. I'm with you on that. Quietly, we're not like going overboard. We're not criticising them at all. I think it's very, very difficult to get someone from the other end of the world to come over here and hit the ground flying. He's not done that. Hugo did do it, but we were lucky with that. We can't expect every striker to do that.
No,
Strikers are jumping goals. So I'm with you on that. I'm quietly disappointed, but I'm not going overboard about it. It's the first thing we've mentioned. And Giakoumakis, after getting a hat-trick, he's probably going to get even more game time as the main centre-forward. I'm wondering, I've said it in a few podcasts, what's Maeda's best position? Is it a left forward or is it actually the centre forward? Because if it is, then he's probably going to be the third in the pecking order. So it might come well for him. And like players like fucking John Hart, who scored a barrel load of goals down in England, he took a long time before it kind of.
I can't remember off by heart, but it was about 17, 18 games to score his first goal. John Hartson for Celtic, come on. And the guy became a fucking Celtic legend, know what I mean?
Yes.
We will be patient with him. We'll be patient.
But
it's not
to answer Scott Howback, right? Listen, Scott, absolutely love the fact that this isn't a place where everybody's fucking sucking each other's arses and singing off the same hymn sheet, mate. We're here for real opinions, real views, and everybody's views, right? So that's why, like, we're not going to turn and say, fuck up your dick, right? Because we love to hear kind of everybody's opinions, right? But of course it is, but nobody's saying that Maeda's shite or this or that, because I spoke to McGinty about this before, right? Maeda hasn't produced the goods as a central striker, right? He's not produced the goods when he's been played on the left-hand side because he's not technically good enough to take a guy on the dribble. Where he is at his best is when he's playing on the shoulder of a guy, right, and getting into the space with speed. But that's
you see it tonight.
That's what I say to McGinty tonight. The only thing that I can actually see Maeda being a positive way is what I say to you the other night on the Twitter space is being a super sub, or if he's going to play for the start, play him on the right where he can go and drive at a guy and then fucking just whip a ball on his right.
Nobody I'll disagree with you there. And obviously I would what I've seen of Maeda and Giakoumakis and Jota and Abada and whoever else, I genuinely think, and again, this is only my opinion, so don't fire questions on me, we guns and bullets with my face and all that. I genuinely think Maeda playing, and I don't think Angel ever go a 4-4-2. I think Maeda through the middle with big Giakoumakis is an absolute perfect position, and that's me as a front two with Giakoumakis and Maeda. So that's just me observing the games for being a season ticket holder and watching the games on the telly. I think the plan B thing that we always fucking talk about, what I've seen this season with either Jota and Abada or Forrest or Maeda or Giakoumakis or Kyogo, I can see Maeda being the most effective if Giakoumakis is playing through the middle and he plays off him. Knockdowns, a wee bit of pace to get back in behind the centre half, stuff like that. So that's where I see him being more effective. But everybody's opinion differs. So we don't want to come on here and spout piss and fight folk and all that. But I will put my address on if anybody wants to, if anybody fancies it.
Well, there was and listen, I don't mean to have to be fucking acknowledging a go at anybody else or whatever, but
of course not, man.
Big Woodsy, Gav's pal, has already put on. Hail, guys! Glad you're on. As Axom doing their usual negative shit. Ange can't work miracles in both Europe and domestic in his first season onto the league. That is that's one of my biggest bugbears, right? Because as everybody knows, it's the transitional season. It's this, it's that, blah 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 blah. But you, Gav, you, Dale, and me, Paddy, can all recognise that the manager has been absolutely fucking shafted by a superior manager with tactical fucking majesticness that has blew him out the water over 2 games. We get beat fucking 3-1. We get beat 3-1 at home, and now we've been beat fucking 2-0 in the rain patch. We absolutely fucking zero response apart from 1 goal.
No.
In aggregate, it's embarrassing.
You're not speaking for me. You're not speaking for me. I disagree with that. To say that
My apologies. My apologies, Gav.
I was going to disagree as well, but on you go, Gav.
To say that he's been managerially shafted, like this coach. This coach has been building on a style of play that Bodo Glimt have been doing. They're champions two years in a row now domestically, and they're getting better and better in Europe. We saw what they did against Roma. They've got a plan. We are, for our 6-month period so far, 7-month period, 8-month period under Postecoglou, we're already ahead of schedule. But as Woodsy said, we can't expect miracles on both fronts right now.
Gav, with the greatest of respect, what's that got to do with anything? We've been absolutely shafted by a manager over 2 legs, mate.
I disagree that he's. I disagree that he's been outthought. They've got a playing style. We're used to that. We're trying to do what we can. We're still on we're on a journey right now, and we've not yet reached the pinnacle of that.
But Gav, I'm not talking about a journey, mate. I'm talking about the last 2 legs. We've been tactically shafted by Bodo.
Right. So what would you have changed in order to win those 2 legs?
Mate, come on. We get beat 3-1 at Celtic Park in the first game.
No, but
Are you telling me that's not being tactically shafted by a team? I know, but by a team that's not played since December, and by a team that's been sitting in Malaga for the last few weeks. They came to Celtic Park under the disco lights, under blah blah blah, and beat us 3-1. And we've been the team that's in form. We carried the form into that game, and we've been shafted 3-1 at Celtic Park.
I said after the first leg that the high press that Bodo done at Paradise totally threw Ange off his game plan. 100%, and don't want to keep harping back to tactics and what happened, but the game last week again was like 60-70% possession. I think tonight was like 59 point whatever possession. Again, that Ange ball, as everybody wants to keep talking about, it suits a certain level of football, as in Scottish football, but without going back to the full season for the first game and all that shit, I think if you look at Ange's style for the first game of the season, right up until now, we've not seen a massive change other than clientele, other than the starting 11, the bench that he's got a chance to bring on players that are better than your Dane Murrays and guys like that, and no offence to him that was playing before Christmas, but I just think that the last couple of games, as Paddy says, and I possibly the Bodo Glimt managers outthought him, tactically outthought him, but is he a better manager? Are Bodo Glimt a better team? I don't think so. So that points to Paddy's point of view, as in they were tactically better. So that I don't disagree with Gav either. I can see both points of view. It's a kind of hard one to work out because if you look at the Celtic squad and the Bodo squad, we should be absolutely blowing them out the water in their 2 legs. So
I think the players on the ball. There's a lot to say about being brave on the ball. I don't think we were in either of the 2 legs, and I don't think that that's necessarily down to the manager. Players need to take responsibility. They're only brave on the ball.
Of course, but when push comes to shove, if a team's shite, the manager gets the sack. So if we want to sit and do that, then it's like the manager. It befalls on him, especially when you look at Bodo right now, everybody said that Bodo were rusty, blah, 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 blah. And I think that Celtic fell into that trap when it came to the first game, because I think when we started with Maeda up front, we started with players who were all about pacey, about trying to get the players on the back foot straight away. And we fell right into fucking Bodo's trap, as far as I'm concerned. And they tactically fucking turned us over. I said it at the time, it was like a sucker punch in boxing. We weren't expecting it, and they fucking sucker punched us and fucking knocked a few stars at us. Do you know what I mean? And that's coming from a manager and the Bodo manager who has won the Norwegian league back-to-back. Gav, as we know, Nicholas told us. They won massive scalps in Europe last season. So this is a guy who's managed in Europe last season, has got big scalps against guys like Jose Mourinho, against Ange, who's in his debut season in Europe. As I say, Ange is going to make mistakes because he's never managed at this level before. He might have managed it in the World Cup or the Gold Cup or the Kirin Cup or whatever the fuck it is in Japan. No disrespect, but whatever level he's done there. But Europe's a different caliber, and he's going to come up against guys that know fine well that he's just going to commit the traps right away and try and attack you. So right, we played right into Bodo's horns. You look at the guy, the big black guy that was at left back for them. It was like a Rolls Royce, mate. Every single time he dictated the tempo, he dictated the passing. He was here, he was there. He won every single ball because he knew exactly what we were going to do. And for me, that's because we were totally managerially and tactically out in 2 games, which was nonsense.
Thunk is a very good
Thunk's a real word. I
thunk that as well. The question I'll pose to Gav that I don't think Bodo Glimt or whatever it may be are as good a team as Hearts, Hibs, Serco or anybody else. So other than the passion, obviously the Celtic and Rangers game where we absolutely battered them off the park and beat them 3-0. So why did that Celtic team not turn up, not just last week or this week, and give the performance the same in the Glasgow derby? Where were they? Where were they, Gav?
Oh, I think it's a great question, and I'd written that down because we have shown up in games where we're playing against a superior opposition in Europe, such as Betis and Leverkusen. Yes, we might not have played brilliantly throughout the entire 90 minutes against those teams, but in certain spells during those games, we played very, very well, and we had them on the back foot. How did we fail? How did we manage to do it against those teams, but not manage to do it against Bodo Glimt? Was it a fact that we're dropping down in the third tier of a European competition, a new competition that no one really has that much respect for? Is it that? Is it the fact that Bodo Glimt aren't a sexy name on paper? Is it the fact that there's a European hangover after losing in the Champions League qualifier, going into the Europa League, and then getting knocked out of that as well? Is there a hangover of that? Or did they now have their eye already on the league? Did they know about did they already have their priority on the league before we even drew Bodo Glimt? I'm not too sure. On paper, we shouldn't have lost 5-1 against them on aggregate. On paper, that is ridiculous. Whenever you see it in the flesh, Bodo Glimt, they just wanted it more than us. And I'm still astounded how they've managed to do this without having any match fitness prior to that. I'm astounded. Paddy said...
that was exactly my point, mate. Surely to God, then, if that's the case, their manager must have them pumped up to the high dose. They must be sitting like literally fucking overthinking every single thing that we do. And for me, mate, that comes back to the fact that they've had weeks and weeks.
Penalty Rangers.
Fuck you and fuck Rangers, fucking scumbags. I don't want to hear about them.
Paddy, I know that you do have maybe I'm putting words in your mouth here. I don't know if you've got a fixation for Postecoglou being the kind of the guy in the wrong, but I think it's just a collective. I don't even know if we wanted it tonight.
No. What my point is, mate, that team
across
team,
the board. The players they show the appetite for it,
Gav,
and it's a collective.
Gav, that team were absolutely brilliant, and that's my point. They were excellent over the 2 legs, which is something that I don't think that we expected. I think we were sucker punched. That's what I'm saying. I think that we kind of took them lightly. The managers took them lightly. The players were poor, and a lot of positions. You look at even tonight, Gav. You look at the tactics by Postecoglou, right? I think it's kind of known by most people that fucking watch the games that O'Reilly and Roderick are too much of the same player to be playing the same team. So why play the two of them? The two of them are kind of luxury players, if you want to call it that. But they're too similar to playing the same team as me, especially when a team's coming at you all the time. Do you know what I mean?
O'Reilly doesn't look like a luxury player for me, especially. Against away. He was no luxury player in that game.
I know. What I mean is when him and Roderick play in the same team together, the two of them are too similar to play in the same team. So for me, it creates an imbalance. That's what I mean, mate.
So we kind of totally acknowledge the fact that we've been shown up by this mob. And on the same token, we've done quite well. We've played with pride against the teams of a high caliber of opposition in Europe. So would you hold your hands up and just say they are a better team than us?
Mate, I wanted to say that, mate. I think last week they were superb, and I thought tonight they were even better. Which for me is what I'm saying. That kind of backs up my point, is that I think the manager has totally out fucking shown Ange, because I think Ange has been very naive over the 2 legs.
The one thing that
players as well, not just Ange, obviously.
When we went into the second leg, okay, when we went into the game tonight, as a fan, my own personal opinion was we weren't going to win the game. However, if I was to think how Postecoglou thinks, I would have thought that he doesn't believe in no-win scenarios. So I was a wee bit surprised when he kind of rung the changes for the starting 11. As we said, out of the back 4, you only had Starfelt playing. Apart from that, Scales, Welsh and Ralston. There's no Jota. Jota's on the bench. And Abada isn't starting either. So whenever I saw that lineup, I was thinking, Ange is now prioritising the league. I get that. But this is not a criticism. I'm just kind of trying to understand the thinking behind Postecoglou. If you're going to start with a so-called weakened 11, in fact, it's definitely a weakened 11 without the likes of Jota and Abada, etc., etc. If you're going to start like that, then why bring on Abada and McGregor at, half-time or just into the second half? Why ring those changes? I don't get that part.
Because clearly the 2 guys that they came on for were absolutely pish. They did fuck all. And again, for me, when he brought the 2 players on at half-time, it just kind of showed up the bad tactics at the start. I thought there was the wrong players to play.
I think it shows Angie's personality as a manager. Paddy is he wants to win every game, because I'm with you, mate. Why change it if we're going out and we're going to Easter Road at the weekend? Then why change it? I just think it shows Angie's what he is as a manager, and he wants to win every game. But I wouldn't have changed a lot at half time either. By the way. I didn't see the point in changing it at all.
So, you're out of Europe now. How do you feel about the overall European adventure? In terms of, if you go back to the start of the season, the expectations and how we've acquitted ourselves early in the Champions League qualifiers, how we've acquitted ourselves in the group stage of the Europa League, and of course the disappointment that we've witnessed tonight over the 2 legs against the Norwegian champions. How would you assess the adventure, mate?
I think if you're marking as out of 10 in a European adventure, then it's a 2. It's been very, very poor. Probably the same as...
Sorry for interrupting. If you put that into the context of where we were at the start of the season with the massive turnover in manager, players, captain, from top to bottom, would you still give it a 2?
Not for the start of the season, mate. If you look back to August and Ange coming in, I spoke about it the other night. I think it's an absolutely phenomenal season for where we were to where we are now, I think it's an unbelievable season. A season, if we win the league, if we qualify for the Champions League group, then it's possibly one of the best seasons in Celtic's history, in my opinion. At the start of the season, I was expecting to finish second, to be nowhere near where we are now, to have a League Cup in the bag, to have a squad capable of challenging in four fronts, obviously until tonight. But I still expect us to win the league. I still expect us to win the Scottish Cup and get a treble and win a spot in the Champions League group stage. So I'm relatively happy, but I'll go back to what we said earlier. Very, very, very disappointed in the two legs against Bodo Glimt. But if you the same as last Thursday, I was gutted. But I think if you wake up tomorrow, but we're 3 points ahead. If we win at Easter Road at the weekend, then we're still looking at having one of the best fucking seasons that was possible. So I'm disappointed, but looking towards the end of May, Scottish Cup final, a league title, a Champions League qualification, then I'm still quietly confident that it's going to be a very, very good season for Celtic.
That's a good point. So over to yourself, Paddy, in terms of us exiting Europe now, there's less travel, there's less midweek games. So does this give us a kind of a renewed simplicity for our goal at the end of the season, Scottish Cup and the league? That's the two things to focus on. So are you happy that that's the only upside of this all? It gives us simplicity to focus on two goals.
Mate, I've said it before and I'll say it again, right? I'm never, ever happy to see Celtic being beaten, right? But on that note, I've said to you guys before, I've said it the last few weeks, I've said it at the start of the season, my priority is the league, right? I want to win that league for obvious reasons, because we lost it last season. We were fucking embarrassed last season by losing it. And this season is a massive, massive season. It's imperative that we win this league this season for monetary value, for fucking pride, whatever, right? But see, that's neither here nor there. See, going out the way that we went out over two legs, culminating tonight, is fucking embarrassing, right?
Yes, agree.
And there's Frank Brennan. He's like me. He's very critical. He's made a great point there. That's something I went fucking mental about during the game. Even worse, we're down 2-0 in the second leg and 5-1 overall. And then with 15 minutes to go, he brings on McCarthy for Giacomakis as a striker. So what on earth is all that about? Exactly, mate. It was a ridiculous decision for me. And I was irate about it at the time. We're doing 2-0, 5-1 in aggregate, and we bring off our striker and put on a defensive midfielder. Can anybody explain that? What is that all about?
I thought it was a big injury for Giacomakis.
Yes. On the flip side of that, then that's where maybe Ange's putting his manager's hat on and thinking, right, we're out. So why risk Giacomakis for the last 15-20 minutes when we play Hibs on Sunday?
But why put a defensive midfielder on? Is that so we don't get beat 3-0?
Imagine if he brought in Jota and Jota get injured.
No,
exactly.
But why? If Ange Postecoglou's out giving it, we don't change your formation, we don't change this, we don't change your approach, all we're going to do is attack, and then he brings off a striker. When we're 2-0 down, and puts on a defensive midfielder. So when I know, but hold on 2 seconds, right? See when he's turning around saying we don't do a plan B, we don't do this. He's full of shit. If he's bringing off a forward and putting on a defensive midfielder, that's a plan B, because that's sitting in and defending.
Yeah, but I know what Gav is going to say. So the question I'll pose to you is, obviously, if Giacomakis came off tonight, they put McCarthy on. Obviously, it was a defensive fucking move, right? And I was flat the night as well. What the fuck's happening here? But if he'd have left Giacomakis on and he get injured, or as Gav said, if Jota come on and get injured, then the flip side of the coin was us three would be speaking about why the fuck did they bring Jota on? Why the fuck did they take Giacomakis off? Why did they make this change? So this is the whole point of the podcast.
They'll look at the bench, right? Look at the bench. Who was the attacking options on the bench? Why did they not bring fucking Owen Moffat with him? Why did they not bring Ben Doak?
That's my point. That's my point.
And they thought that we were going to get beat instead of fucking putting McCarthy on and going defensive. Why not just put on a young guy who's actually got a future at the club and can actually benefit for the experience of going on and playing in Europe? Even though you're fucking 2-0 down to 5-1 down, get it. Like, Oliver, play Oliver tonight if you're no fucking interested in progressing. I can't say that.
Paddy, please, say that name again, Paddy, please.
Toby Oliver, play him.
Once
I'm just going to say something here, Scott. I absolutely, honestly, mate, I love your comments of the week. I genuinely think that you're not actually fucking listening to what we're saying, because umpteen times we've said that it's a good team, it's a great
very
team.
Good side. Very good side.
They've been fucking well drilled and they have outfought us at every single point. That's my point, is that we've went out. They've been a great team, but our performance has been fucking gutless, shite, embarrassing. And the fact that we're out isn't a big massive. It's not a big massive thing in my face. The fact that we're out, it's the way that we went out. It's not a good indicator of the fact that we're like Celtic of the old. We're going out with fucking disgraceful performances against teams that we really should be matching and challenging, and we're getting fucking scalped. It's not good enough, regardless of whether fucking Postecoglou's won us the League Cup, whether he's got his fucking 6 points ahead or 3 points ahead or whatever. It's a fucking shocking performance either way, and it's no good. It's embarrassing. I don't care, and I'm really, really sorry if I'm getting animated, but it's disgraceful either way.
No, that's what you need to talk about, mate.
Mate, see if you like shaved your tash in a wee bit and you kept on doing the like hand signals, man.
Without my header.
I've got to do it, man. Definitely, man. I've got to do it. He's just got a wee bit of turf now, but as you know.
Who?
Maida. Fucking hell.
For comparison. Look, I'll ask you both a question, whoever wants to kind of pick up the mantle for this one. Like, Postecoglou's style of play, okay? It kind of reminds me of Bielsa. He's like the Australian Bielsa or whatever. For me, that's the philosophy. He lives or dies by it. He's either going to he's going to either leave a legacy with us by playing that way, or he's going to get sacked by playing that way. Now, I think both of you at different times have said, well, you need to change it at times. You need to tailor it. You need to have a plan B or whatever whenever you're up against a certain caliber of opposition or whenever you're in a particular situation. I think, no, I'm not saying that you have to get behind it. I'm not giving you that ultimatum. I'm just saying that for me, the reality is we need to either accept it and see where it takes us, or criticise them. You're either behind it or you're going to criticise him like intermittently throughout the season and next season and the following season if he's given that long. I think we just need to accept that this is the way that he's going to play and not be surprised whenever he doesn't do a plan B or a plan C. This is what we need to accept.
Gav, that's absolutely, totally acceptable, right? If Postecoglou's turned around saying, I'm only going to play one way and that's it, well, guess what? Postecoglou's going to have to fucking take the flak when everything goes wrong, when he should be fucking changed it up, because you look at the games against Livingston, right? You know football, Dale knows football, I know football, and every cunt knows that if you put fucking 80 fucking crosses in against the defence that's fucking heading it all at a time and you can't get your head onto the ball, you're not going to win the game. But Ange Postecoglou turns around and says, I'm just going to keep playing the way I'm fucking playing. Well, hold on a minute. That means exactly you're going to get the fucking stick. You're going to get stick. But see, when you're going to get you're going to get praise when you deserve it, and you're going to get fucking stuck when you deserve it.
Live by the sword, by the sword. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Mate. Yes.
That's it, and that's it.
And there you go. There's Scott Howe again. Embarrassing. Aye. Who the fuck is going to care about the night when we win the league? Do you know what, mate? Probably it'll go overlooked. Winning the league's hypothetical. We've not won the league yet, and we're fucking going to talk about the night.
Aye, let's reply to Scott, and that's what you need to. That's what people need to realise when you go to podcasts and post-match analysis is we're not talking about winning the league in 4 months' time. We're talking about what happened tonight. So let's not get away from the fact that we're talking about Celtic being defeated by a Norwegian Bodo Glimt team that possibly 60-70% of the Celtic fans have never heard of. It's a fucking terrible, terrible result in Celtic's European history. That's why we're on here. That's what we're on here to talk about tonight. So, Scott, we understand what you're speaking about. We're not here to argue with people or spit shit at people. That I agree with Paddy. It's a fucking horrible, horrible result over the 2 legs. It's 5-1 against a team for the Arctic Circle that we've been beat with. Yes, 1,000,000%. The league going forward is the biggest prize at the end of the fucking rainbow that we're looking at. But we've been beat with Bodo Glimt or Glimt, whatever the fuck they're called.
Dale,
and that proves my point.
See your microphone. Try and plug your microphone in at the fucking jack, but
that's it.
Yeah. We can hear you. It's just that I had a wee kind of distortion or whatever.
Go on, mate.
Is that better now?
That's better, mate. Aye, that's sound.
I'll just take my phones off.
I think that if things go well with Postecoglou, we win the league again, hypothetically, and we're into next season. We can look back in this night and just say it was a learning experience. Aye, simple as that. We're not raging. We're disappointed in the result.
No, Gav. I'm sorry, mate. I'm raging. I'm fucking raging.
I'm not raging. I expect.
I saw my mate, but I'm raging at the fact that we fucking played for that, because that was embarrassing, right? And see, like, there's cooking with Chef Dye, and he absolutely nails it, right? When you wear the Celtic badge on your chest, it doesn't matter if it's a friendly or a conference cup tie. You give it 100%. Those travelling fans deserve at least that. And that's exactly what it is, mate. There was fans travelling to the fucking Arctic Circle to see us fucking watching, to see us watching as if we were playing in a bounce game. There was no fucking get up and go. There was no oomph. There was no nothing. Fucking players couldn't even fucking pass a ball between them. Starfelt and Welsh. Do you know what I mean? James Forrest, as I seen a brilliant comment during the match. The linesman's done more fucking running than James Forrest up and down that wing at the right hand side. The team is fucking.
Where does James Forrest go for here?
So I think he's got 12 months remaining at the end of this season. Another 12 months, I believe. I think the writing is probably on the wall for the man.
Yeah, I've never been a big Forrest fan. I've always said that I think if you look back in his career, once he stops playing, that you look at his goals, his contributions, his assists, the goals he scored in Europe and away from home and against the Servco, will always be remembered big time. But I think his days are done big time. I think he's finished. I don't see going into 2022-23 that James Forrest fits anywhere at all into a Ange Postecoglou side at all. I don't see where he fits in. And tonight again, I think Forrest as well is a player that has to be playing weekly and playing all the time. But I'm with you, Gav. I think he's done. I don't
made the suggestion, why didn't we start Ben Doak tonight? And that's a good shout. But the fact that he gave the responsibility to someone like James Forrest and they failed to take the bull by the horns, I think that probably strengthens the argument that the writing's on the wall.
Well, there's Danielle making a comment, right? I'll take this one now, guys. Sorry for interrupting. I think they're being extremely disrespectful of Bodo Glimt. They're an excellent team. 4 or 5 years into playing the way they do under the manager, coming across very entitled. Well, Daniel, I don't know if you've been listening on right, but we've certainly missed out Bodo Glimt, and we've said time after time they have been a very, very good team. Yeah. But that doesn't mean to say that you can't fucking you can't speak about the Celtic team and the way they played, because if that's the case, then there's no us even turning up. Then if Bodo Glimt's that good a team, that we can't be negative about our team getting spunked. Yeah. Fucking fight.
I don't think at one point in the conversation tonight we've been disrespectful to Bodo at all. Not
Right.
once.
To Daniel,
I think they're a very, very good side, and as we said earlier, the 5-1 aggregate score is very. That they could have won more other than Joe Hart. So and obviously on the podcast, Danielle and people that comment that it's always well received, but I totally disagree with that.
Daniel, I'm not singling you, Henry, but I'm going to comment back on your post. There's your reply. I'm raging too, but would you want to win tonight and do what the Huns did on Sunday? Daniel, I couldn't give a flying fuck about the Huns, right? Tonight we are talking about Celtic versus Bodo Glimt, and I'm really starting to, and don't take this the wrong way, anybody that's listening and comment, because I really do love the fact that people are coming in and giving their own opinions, but who gives a fuck about the Huns? Who gives a fuck about anybody else does? We're talking about Celtic versus Bodo Glimt tonight. Over 2 legs, we've been 5-1. This isn't Celtic 3, Rangers 0 for the last couple of weeks. This is the 2 games, and this is the game of the night. We've been fucking embarrassed over 2 games. 5-1. We're not talking about anything else. It's embarrassing.
What I'll say to Danielle is as well that me, Paddy and Gavin that have obviously been kind of close pals now for the podcast game, and I gave a shout out when Rangers scored earlier, and Paddy told me to fuck off and he doesn't give a fuck about Rangers and what the result is. So so I'll back Paddy up to that. Who gives a fuck about the Rangers? But anyway, Dortmund are winning 2-1, Paddy, you fat dick.
Who gives a fuck about Dortmund, you bald game bastard? But no, listen, by the way, if I came across
a comment to Daniel, you might have watched it from the start, you might have kind of caught the wrong end of the stick, but I think we all kind of agree that the plan, the journey that Bodo Glimt have been on for the past few years, they're at least one level above us right now, and that showed over the 2 legs. They had no right to beat us on paper in terms of the fact that they had no match fitness, but they turned us over home and away. So we're giving massive props to Bodo Glimt. I think the kind of the passion and the emotion from us is about the disappointment, because we just failed to perform. And a few good comments for people like Kerry and Joseph Agnew and a few others to say that when you wear the Celtic shirt, you need to give 100%. It looked like maybe especially in this game, we didn't give 100%, and that's probably why we're getting a wee bit emotional. But we definitely acknowledge that Bodo at this stage are a better side than us.
And by the way, Daniel, I'm no fucking picking on your comments or anything.
Yes, Daniel.
No, shut up, you baldy fucking. No, listen. I've said the same. Right, tonight wasn't about the result for me. Tonight was about the performance. Right, and if we went out tonight, I wasn't caring. I wasn't going to be fucking so depleted and so downhearted. But the performance tonight was shocking, right? And you said it there again in a reply. I'm talking about, would I rather all our best players being fine for Sunday instead of being cupped? No, because I didn't want our best players playing tonight, and neither did Ange Postecoglou if you look at his lineup. But then that ties into a problem that you've got, because we've now progressed into a level, right? If you look at the start of the season, we had guys like Dane Murray, fucking blah, 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 sitting on the bench when the bench was the worst bench that we've probably had in many years. Now we're at a stage where the first team is in a good shape, and the guys that are then stepping into the first team are absolutely shite and no fucking performing to levels where they're looking as if they want to be in the first team. Do you know what I mean? So now we need to start really progressing on for what we've got already.
I would say in the kind of the journey that we've been on, I know that I've used that word a few times already tonight, but the depth that we had at the start of the season, first and foremost, it wasn't even there. Never mind the quality and depth. Now, we now have depth to where we are right now in February, and the quality has increased. So in terms of like midfield, it was always Rogic, McGregor, and Turnbull. Turnbull's out, and we've now got in the likes of Hatate, and we've got O'Reilly, and they look like good players. So whenever Turnbull comes back as well, you're going and Beaton as well. I think he's acquitted himself very well this season in comparison to previous seasons. I think the quality and the depth in midfield is looking very good. Up front, whenever Kyogo comes back, it's I think the only disappointment up front in terms of like the front three and the depth, the kind of reserve players behind them. The disappointment for me is Forrest, because if it was Forrest of yesteryear, then it'd be very, very competitive and strong. Mikey Johnson, he's not doing very well, but I think in general the depth is getting better, the quality is getting better, but it's not yet where we want it to be, and that's kind of why we get found out tonight. We take out a few of our first team regulars, put in the reserve team players. That's where we're seeing when there's too many reserve team players coming in together at one time. That's when the flaws are showing. That's my point.
Yeah.
Really, how many reserve players come in the night, though, Gav? You brought in Forrest, who's a seasoned professional, experienced, blah, blah, blah. It was fucking terrible. Welsh, who's been on the cusp and has been the kind of experienced player at one point as well.
That was his 23rd game this season. Welsh.
Who?
Stephen Welsh.
23 games.
23rd game of the season, mate.
But hold on. Bend over, mate. I think somebody needs to fucking bend you over. I'd take James Forrest over Neil Beaton all day long. Let's be realistic, mate. You are a crackpot.
Totally different positions. Absolutely zero comparison to the way two guys play. Zero comparison. That's like saying you like a boob or a fucking a bobby. It's absolutely.
Well, Dale, we all know what one you like, mate. Then Dale loves the bobby.
It's possible that you misunderstood what we were saying.
Absolutely no comparison, man.
It's possible that you misunderstood what we were talking about.
By the way, listen, can I just ask you that question, right? No, you guys. So take away the performance tonight, take away everything, take away the opponents, right? Look simply at the scoreline, right, which is the only stat that matters. 5-1 Celtic beaten on aggregate over two legs. Do you think that's acceptable at any point at all?
No.
What? Even the hardest of opposition, or you just
no, Gav, anybody? Do you think for a team that's supposed to be Celtic, one of the biggest teams in Europe, one of the biggest teams in the world, to look at an aggregate score over two legs, Celtic beaten 5-1 by anybody, any fucking team in this world, do you think that's acceptable?
100%. I can totally see where Gav's coming from, because you can't throw the 5-1 aggregate stat out there if you're comparing Bodo Glimt to fucking Real Madrid.
By anybody?
No, of course it is. There's totally different levels to the spectrum. We went to Paris and get beat fucking 8-1. We get beat by Bayern Munich.
Take away if it's fucking Bayern Munich, Barcelona, or fucking Livingston. 5-1, we've just been beat over aggregate. Is any scoreline respectable?
Yes, of course it is. That's I'm trying to answer your question. If you would let me answer, of course it is. If I went to Paris and watched us getting beat 8-1. I watched us getting beat 6-0 at home. I watched us getting pumped by Bayern Munich. I watched us getting beat by. I've been all over watching Celtic in Europe. So, is it a respectable scoreline against Bodo Glimt? 100% not. But the question you're asking is 5-1 aggregate. A Celtic Football Club against a team? Then Bodo Glimt, no. But in the bigger picture of things, then.
Yeah.
The financial side of football, then if we go into the Champions League and win the league this year, there's a very, very good chance that we'll get beat 5, 6, 7, 8-0 in one game, never mind fucking two legs. So I don't think it's respectable against Bodo Glimt, but it could very fucking well happen soon in the summer. So
well, Dale, I totally agree with you. And by the way, see if you were Callum McGregor, and let's say it was in the Champions League, okay, and you get beat, you get spanked like 7-0 by PSG. If you're doing your post-match interview, you'll say, yes, it's never acceptable for us to get beat by a scoreline like that. But by the way, see when you get back to the game and talk to your family, you might be saying we got lucky only shipping 7 against that mob because they were brilliant. So against any team in the world, it can happen. If you're being realistic, it can happen. But against Bodo Glimt, no, that should not happen. It shouldn't happen. But again, I don't know. For me, it's not a night. It's not a night of scapegoats, and I don't think you guys are hanging up scapegoats. I don't think you're doing that. I'm not saying that. But I think it's just we're entitled to be disappointed with the performance tonight. But let's focus on the future. The end of the season. You know, we've got a lot of positivity to work for.
I think I'll feel exactly the same as I did last week. And even though we're out, and I don't know what's happening with the zombies, I'll feel the more of what I did last Friday. Very, very disappointed. But my main focus is Easter Road at the weekend. I think Rangers play St Mirren at home. Is that right?
Apparently, we don't talk about Rangers.
I'm not like Paddy, but no. But listen,
I genuinely don't know, mate. I don't know.
I think it's St Mirren at home, but whether you want to talk about Huns or no, and I spoke to somebody earlier about. I don't look for the Rangers results. I don't watch their games and all that. I don't watch their games, but I check the results all the time because we're in a fucking title race. If Celtic fans say they don't, then they're just fucking idiots.
That's fine. Talk about them during the league. It's just see, like me.
Yeah, I know. What we're speaking about now is the Bodo Glimt game. We're out of Europe, so
what bragging rights. We live in Glasgow, and it's all about the bragging rights. You know, it's natural to mention it.
So we're progressing to Sunday and Celtic playing Hibernian. So what do you think, Paddy, going to Easter Road on Sunday? I don't know who plays first. I think it might be the Zombies. Do you think Ange goes back to the Dundee side for the weekend at Easter Road?
I'll tell you what I will say first, mate. I'm not going to bring any comments up, right? But bend over, mate. I've loved your comments over the last couple of weeks, but fuck up. Right,
I knew you were going to say something there.
Aye, right.
Jump on that off for fuck's sake, Paddy.
Aye, with the greatest of respect, mate. With the greatest of respect, mate. Fuck up, you ball bag. In a nice way. I love you, but fuck up. Stop slagging my mate there, right?
I don't give a fuck. Shut up, mate. I couldn't give a fuck.
I'm a fuck.
No. You'll get fucking one name right the door.
Yeah, what you say, mate? Against Hibs?
Can't mind.
Against Hibs?
Aye.
Against Hibs, well, obviously we're going to hope that we're coming up against a team who are because Sean Maloney has been a disaster so far. I think, given where he's came from and this and that, but we really need to get our fluency back. See the last few games. I know we've had a massive victory. The last league game, it was a last minute kind of thing, but. All in all, over the game, we were kind of flat. We were this and we were that, which is to be expected. You can't go into every single game and be the best team in the fucking world and play so amazingly that you're going to get hard on. You know what I mean? I would love that, but you're not going to get that.
Do you think the disappointment of tonight will give us a kick up the arse, a much needed kick up the arse for this weekend?
Gav, I don't know, mate, because I genuinely cannot take any positives for this match at all. Sometimes, like, see if you go into Europe and you're beaten by a team, say you get beat 3-2 by a Leverkusen or something, and you've went out and you've played bend over, fuck up, you prick, right?
Put it up.
I'm a fuck. You're taking the piss now, mate. What was I saying there? You can go against by a Leverkusen or something, you can go and play out your skin and you can get beat, but you can get absolutely pumped tonight. Totally embarrassed, but that's what I'm saying. What positives do you take for that? Do you go into the next game and say, right, we can't play like that again, or do the players go in with their fucking heads down and say, right, we've been playing flat as fuck for the last few weeks, or we're just going up our game levels now? So, like, where does it pick up again? It's down to the manager. The manager's going to pick up and say that's not good enough. The manager was quick enough to be fucking shouting and balling on the sidelines against fucking Raith Rovers when somebody passed the ball back, but he's not fucking shouting and balling when we're getting fucking pumped 2-0, 3-0 at fucking Celtic Park, and then fucking 2-0 in fucking the Arctic Circle. Where was he the night shouting and balling? God, don't fucking pass it back. When we fucking defenders that couldn't even pass it to each other, never mind pass it back.
Aye, it was Baltic, mate. It was Baltic.
Aye, sitting his fucking hood up his mouth shut. Exactly.
Let's fucking
listen. I fucking love Big Ange, right? But listen, I love Big Ange, but Ange fucking deserves fucking negative when it is deserved. He's got every
Mate,
single fucking. He's got every single credit that comes his way this season, so he deserves it when he's fucking not doing the job.
Of course, and Gab will agree is Chelsea shows a Celtic top scarf ticket. He's a hun. Oh, I love all that part, mate. See the thing is, like, not people can't take the part and go, oh, he called me a hun and all that.
Exactly. One for watching, mate.
Today,
mate, you get yourself to fuck your fucking bob.
Brilliant, mate. It's brilliant. Honestly, I love it, mate. I've been a season ticket holder for 27 years, mate. Probably more pot noodles than he's been to Celtic games. So,
listen. Ben Dover's been a really, really good commenter for us.
I know, mate. He's actually.
Listen, mate. I don't know if you've had too many fucking baby shams in it or something, but fuck up your mouth, right? You're in a time out. Listen. I've been at the football wheel Delray at Celtic Park, so shut your fucking hole, you ball bag.
Aye, he's acting last game for me. If he said that,
I get it. No, you didn't. You're acting like on yourself, right? Fucking behave.
Aye, that's it. It's all good, mate. I don't mind it. I'll absolutely love the part, mate. And if Ben Dover wants to bend over like his mum does, then I'll be at I'll be at Celtic Park just whenever he wants, mate. And he will bend over when I scale from your right. So tell me keep on commenting if he wants, and I'll give him my address. But
no need for that shit, you know what I mean?
Load of bollocks, mate. Load of bollocks.
Anyway, moving fucking swiftly on. There's Kenny. There's a more Kenny.
As Gav, I'm the most positive guy in the world.
And listen, Gav, that's something that I said to you earlier on when I was thinking, like, sorry, no earlier on today, earlier on in my previous podcast, I said that, like, any defeat that we get in Europe is hopefully going to be a learning curve for next season. But, like, do you know what I mean? What do you get out of that tonight?
Aye, I know. Literally, like 5 minutes ago, you did say you take no positives at all from it. For me, we can look back at that in like a year's time and say, aye, it was a good learning experience. Look at where we were then and where we are now. For me, it simplifies our goals between now and the end of the season. He's going to something fun to keep.
Aye. No, mate. No, I said, you get my tattoo covered up, To be a fucking undercover honey. Are we going to tattoo Atlas tomorrow?
Right, you fucking Mark Warburton, fuck up.
Aye. Just tell
Gav.
Tell Ben Dover to check his mom's fucking camera. You'll see them anyway.
Right, Gav, what were you saying there?
Sorry, Gav.
No, you're all right. Look, it's done with. It's over now. Okay, we're out of Europe, so we need to focus on the league. That's it. No other choice. And hopefully it gives a kick up the arse. I think over the past few domestic games as well, there's been a bit of a lull. We've got a bit stale. I think we're taking too many touches. We're not moving the ball about as freely as we should do. And I think we're really missing Diogo. It'd be brilliant to have the man back. But I think between now and the end of the season, we need to calculate Giacomakis into our thinking as he's going to be the main man. Because if Kyogo comes back, that's going to be the bonus. But between now and then, we need to kind of prepare for without Kyogo being the goal getter. So I don't know how we kind of rejuvenate ourselves. But if the league, if they're not feeling motivated, then they'll never feel motivated. They're going to make themselves heroes if they win the league this year. They've got everything to play for, everything to be motivated about. So just do it. Just do it on the park.
Do it now. Yeah.
Do it now.
Aye, listen. You can always hit the reset button and say, look, we're coming into the fucking the business end of the season. As I said, we're out of Europe, Gav. We're out of Europe now. It's, for me, it's an unwelcome distraction with Europe because there's only one thing in our mindset, and it's the league. The league is fucking the thing this season. See, nobody wants to go to any competition if you're a Celtic fan, but you can understand like the logistics of no being in certain competitions.
I get what you're saying. See, when you called Europe this season an unwelcome distraction, I get where you're coming from. But I would also add in one thing that Europe this season was an opportunity for us to find out more about ourselves against top quality opposition, which we have done. We did very well against Leverkusen. Look, we get mugged at home by Leverkusen. What was it, 4-0? But then away, we were almost beating them up until the last 9 minutes of the game. We did very well, and that we've learned what we can do when things come together. So I think that is good and it's bad. But we're out now, and it's the league, bread and butter, 100%, mate.
But again, Gav, that's what I'm saying. Like you talk about the Betis game, the Leverkusen game. Us getting beat for me was down to Ange and down to Ange's tactics, being naive, thinking that you can come into Europe and just play the one way for the full game. We went up fucking 3-0 or whatever, and then we went up against Bayer Leverkusen in their own home ground, and we still continue to try and attack. Now, when you've got a manager who is a seasoned, professional, experienced manager in Europe, they know fine well when there's to be a balance when you go all out attack and then when you defend your lead and defend it. Ange hasn't done that. Ange just get one way and one way only. And see, when you get one way and one way only, Gav, you'll beat teams and you'll beat them convincingly. But other managers will work out that, by the way, that's the only way to look. That's the only way you're going to play. So when you're only going to play one way, then there's other managers that will be able to counter, that will be able to counter-fight you and be able to play against you.
I think out of the 2 games away against Betis and Leverkusen, near the end of the second half, we looked tired as fuck. I think there might have been a couple of poor substitutions.
Aye, of course.
But for the Betis game is bad because there was like we shipped 2 goals near the end of the first half and 2 goals at the start of the first half.
Aye.
And that it was just like I don't know what was going on in the players' heads. They just switched off at crucial stages of the game. But I think tiredness was what really did it for us in the game away to Leverkusen. Aye. So are you worried about the Hibs game though? With our kind of again.
Gav, see, just because it's coming at the business end of the season, and we're only a few points ahead at the top. I'm worried about every single game. Not the fact that I'm sitting here petrified of it, but I'm not going into every single game convinced or taking it for granted. To put it lightly, to think that we're going to win every single game. Obviously, we've been on a massive winning streak. That's now over. Obviously, the last 2 games, but domestically, we're riding high, but it's not a given any game. So every game has got to be taken with the right bit of respect and thinking that we need to fucking work our arses off. We want to win this league. It's not going to come to us. We need to fucking bring it to us. Do you know what I mean? And the players need to up their fucking tempo, up their game, and get their balls at their fucking socks and go and win this for us fucking supporters. Not just for the team, not just for the fucking the stadium or the history or whatever. For us, the cunts that go and watch it every single week.
Aye, and I'm one of them. I spend a lot of money going to watch Celtic, and I totally agree with you, Paddy. 1,000,000% that the league's a big one this year, and we should be putting every single bit of our fucking our bodies and souls and every single thing into it that Celtic Football Club means, because this season's probably the most. I don't know the word I'm trying to say. This is probably the most, the biggest season league title wise, and it's been in a very, very long time. If you go back to 1998 and stopping the 10, I think this is the biggest league season we've ever seen. If we win the league this year and go into the Champions League, then the Bodo Glimt games and that are a very, very, very distant memory. A very distant memory that if we win the league this year and we go into the Champions League group stages, then the Bodo Glimt game is just like, who? I can't remember that. Oh, did Rangers beat Borussia Dortmund? Can't remember that. We're in the Champions League group. That's what this season means. That's what this season means to Celtic fans, the Celtic family, to absolutely everybody involved in Celtic Football Club. So 3 months down the line, we win the league. We're in a Champions League group with Real Madrid, fucking Benfica as the usual, and Barcelona. The Bodo Glimt game means absolutely fuck all. So they go on and win the league and go into that big cup where we deserve to be as a football club. Then Bodo Glimt means fuck all, mate. Even though, as we've spoke about tonight, it's very, very disappointing. It means absolutely nothing in the grand scale of things if we win the league and go into the big cup. The night's games means absolutely fuck all at the end of the season, because the end of the season is when you get trophies in the cabinet, you're in a Champions League group, and you've won a treble possibly, because I think we will win the treble. So it means fuck all the night at the end of the season if we are where we want to be, and we've never expected to be in August 2021. So fuck Bodo Glimt, fuck Rangers against Borussia Dortmund. Let's win the league and get into the Champions League, and fuck whoever else, and send them a postcode anyway. I'll smash them, Paddy.
I'll agree with your sentiment at the end of the season, but like, see, kind of. I know what you're saying, right? Like, at the end of the season, it doesn't mean fuck all, but you know what? It's not the end of the season yet, mate. It's the night. It's still fresh. It's still fresh. You get people in certain places giving it all, but we had the most stats, we had the most possession, we had the most shots. Suck my balls. We get beat fucking 5-1 on aggregate, right? And for me, and I'm not going to harp on about it too much because it's over. We've been beaten. It's an embarrassment. I just really, really do hope that we take this as some sort of a learning curve and we use it for next season. And next season we'll be like, well, we did that last season. We're going to learn blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, mate, the league's the most important thing. If we win that league, I won't give a thanks. I won't give a fuck about Bodo.
And some people say that you learn more from defeat than what you do from a victory. And if we're going to lose, thank fuck that it was tonight and not against Hibs. I think we can all agree on that. Yeah?
Yes, absolutely, Gav, and 100% agree with you, mate. 100%. But obviously, mate, it's not the defeat that's galling me tonight. It's the manner of the defeat. It's the 3-1 defeat at home. Right, your own patch. It's fucking. It's somebody walking into your house and punching you right in the face, and you can't even fucking punch them back. You know what I mean? And then you get into their gaff to go and fucking knock them out and stick Eden in your lap. Oh fuck's sake! Sorry, big man. Fuck's sake! Come on. But you
need to change your circle of friends, mate. That sounds unhealthy.
I was on my down up to do decking. Yeah, mad hun bastard. You.
I know. Yeah, I love it. I love all the negativity and all the bullshit, mate. It's brilliant, man. But we'll not go back into the jobbies, man. Whatever.
But listen, everybody that's been on the night and everybody that's commenting, I'm sure, like we're all gutted. Some of us to different fucking degrees. Maybe more gutted than some, whatever, blah blah blah. But obviously, we can all agree on that Sunday is a bigger game than Bodo Glimt because the league is the bread and butter. We all want the league, and we really, really, really need to up our game on Sunday for what we've done the past 2 games in Europe.
That's it. An Ange
There's Davey Boy with a pretty good analogy. The last 2 games against Bodo were like pumping your missus and not being able to come. Dale, do you know anything about that, pal?
Well, I'm just going to pop up the stairs now, so see what happens.
Scott's about to fucking come in. You out there? Love your tattoos, big man.
Yeah.
Gav, what do you think overall? Overall, the last 2 games, the way we've played recently, and what's your thoughts, kind of, on the next few fixtures?
Okay. Look, I'm already over it, mate. I'm already over it. Okay. It's a learning experience. Okay. I know that that's a cliche, but for me, we'll learn from it, move on, and hopefully it is the kick up the arse that we need for the end of the season. Onwards and upwards. Let's get our positivity back. What's that?
I like it. I like it. You're always the guy that brings me sunshine, mate.
Okay.
No. I've said, Paddy, with yourself and Gav and McGinty's obviously a sheep hunter, but me, you and Gav need to go and get a pint, mate. 100%, man.
Yes.
100%. These man.
I keep saying that to Paddy every time I get a drink in me. Me got a night out. Where's Dale?
I know, mate. And honest to God, mate, I probably get a night out about fucking once every 2 years, but aye.
Is that what you're out playing this last now?
Aye, out playing the sash, mate, with my fucking my King Billy tattoos and that. Aye, we need to get a night out, mate. Definitely. I don't know about Gav. I know Paddy's side, mate. He builds like patios and stuff. I don't know about Gav. I know he's a wanker. A banker.
Only when I'm drunk.
You turn into a banker. Just start playing Monopoly.
Aye, listen, it would be good, man. To get a wee cross pod night out, man. We'll maybe video it. I'm not doing it.
The box. He can vlog it for his eye.
Aye. Maybe.
You're big feed the bear. I'm good. I'm in the Brassels Club in the Toon boys. Aye.
He's in fucking way brass. He's a fucking dirty bastard.
Fucking big shoe polisher. Aye, but listen, Gav, you've probably just fucking pulled me back down to earth, mate. You're right. It is over and it's done. So there's no point in fucking going mental and fucking this and that. But I just don't like seeing Celtic go out in a manner that we've done. But aye, Sunday's absolutely far more important than anything. And I honestly, God, mate, I really do just hope they that we win this league. And I honestly think that I'm going to probably celebrate this league more than what I would have done if we'd have won 10 in a row last year.
Aye, I'm the same, mate. Especially if the Queen dies, which is looking likely. So, I don't know whether it'll happen while I'm up in Fort William, but if the Queen dies when I'm in Fort William, then the fireworks will be seen from the full of Lanarkshire because fuck Lizzie, man.
What we'll do is we'll set up a GoFundMe page for you and Paddy to pay your fines whenever you are celebrating, because I'm sure you're going to end up in the cell.
Well,
I never done nothing.
I've
celebrations at the end of the season. No
right.
I'm not stopping you for treason tonight, mate.
Go
fund
Paddy and Dale Pyros. That's
Can I comment to Kenny? You were born in the same village as Johnny Thompson. I get my photo taken at his grave. Is it in like Dunfermline or Fife or something? Aye.
Fife, mate. I think
it felt weird getting your photo taken next to a grave and your father telling you, "Don't smile, Gavin. Don't smile." But a bit of history. The Prince of Gold.
Oh, dear.
Right. Okay. So. Paddy, I think you're on the verbal Viagra tonight. You just keep on going. What's next on the bucket list? What else are you going to say?
Paddy, what I will say is I'm going up to Fort William on Sunday for 6 weeks, mate. So just patch the bird a wee weekend, mate. Come up and see me.
What's that?
Patch the bird a wee weekend and come up and see me.
Mate, if I'm patching my wife for any cunt, it'll be some cunt better looking than you, I fucking tell you that.
Come on, mate. Oh, aye, with my King Billy tattoos.
I need bother pigeon tits.
No, it's what do you call them? We JCB starter buttons.
Relax, man pics. Brilliant. Aye. Fuck it. Onwards and upwards to Sunday. Gav, what's happening Sunday? Who's Who's kicking about Sunday? Me and you and fucking Delboy. He'll be
That should
he'll
be
be
good.
up.
That should be good.
He'll be up.
Sunday I'll be up in Fort William, but I'll be available for a chat. I'm off the podcast for a couple of months, but Patrick knows I've got a guest of decent stature on next Wednesday, so I'll keep under my hat, but I've got a good guest on next Wednesday, mate. So
It's welcome to the podcast, King Billy.
King Billy, yes. Barry Ferguson have going next Wednesday.
Oh, look, Kyle Cutwood, look, hey, he's an Edinburgh man. Hospitality at Easter Road for me.
I was talking to Kyle earlier on the cases, man. He's a legend, and Kyle's always on mine as well. And his boy's a Hibs fan, and his other boy's a Celtic fan. So he just needs to sort it.
Who's the Hearts fan again? Is there no Hearts fan in there as well?
No. His boy's
son-in-law, something.
I don't know, but you better fucking sort that out. If there's a Jambo, Kyle, you better sort that out.
Maybe it's Kyle, it's a Jambo, I don't know.
Scott House saying Klein Ben Nevis. It's part of my. I'm seriously considering it. Whether or not it happens, I don't know, Scott. My hotel room looks directly onto Ben Nevis, so I'm definitely going to look at it, think about it, and quite possibly not do it. But I'm going to kind of sit in my room and go, that's Ben Nevis, by the way.
Yeah,
I might claim that one day.
I think there's actually more chance Dale claiming Pat Nevin than there is fucking Ben Nevis. Anyway, Gav, is that us for the night, buddy? We're going to wrap up.
Aye, so to the viewers, I thank you very, very much for all the comments. Brilliant. Thank you for insulting Dale at times. It's been rather funny. I'm on.
And I'm not a hun, and get up here, you fucking weapons, whoever you are. Unsubscribe to my channel. Keep subscribing to the Jungle Gyms, and get up here, you fucking scud. But Jungle Gyms podcast, best of it. But whoever it is thinks I'm a hun, then I hope this guy fucking.
He's back. Bend over. Love you, brother.
Jones, brother. Oh, he's backtracking now.
Hey, come on, you. Sort it out, big man. Anyway, listen. Listen. We're all Celtic supporters. We all love each other.
That's it, mate. And I've seen your mother's Bobby Sands fucking tattoo on her ass, so just calm down.
You can do look at my mother's ass, you cunt.
I was talking to bend over.
All right.
We'll wrap it up for tonight. Again, subscribe, hit the like button, share it. You guys are fucking.
Sorry.
Yes.
Oh, fucking.
Imagine a night out with these two, man. Huh?
That sounds relatively fucking sober to you.
Oh, brilliant, man.
Anyway, love it to you. Love it, Celtic. Monday, Sunday. Hail.
Hail, guys.
Take care, guys, man. Love you all.